Thank you for joining the weekly UTSA baseball press conference. Here we have head coach Pat Hallmark and graduate pitcher Conner Miles. Before we get started, when we get to the question portion, please use the raise hand function in Zoom. But first, Coach, if you could, give us your thoughts on the week that was, the Tuesday game at UIW and the weekend series win over Rice in Houston, capped off by back-to-back shutouts by a combined score of 21-0, Coach.
I was proud of the clean baseball on the weekend. That's been our goal for a long time. It's always a goal, but we haven't played always clean. So we've been really focusing on it, trying to throw strikes and reduce the errors, what we call plays that should be made, which sometimes are misplays that might not get scored as errors, and the walks, the free bases. So we did that really well. We walked 11. One of them was an intentional walk, so we walked 10 of them in 3 games, which is good. We made 0 errors. Struck out 16 times in 3 games, which were it's good. They have really good pitching over there, Friday and Saturday guys for Rice. So proud of that. Tough game on Tuesday. Didn't finish the way we wanted, but UIW can really swing it. We knew that going in. Mostly tip our hat to them. We walked a few too many Tuesday. But we're just hoping to play clean baseball.
All right, let's start with Rylan.
Yeah, Coach, I wanted to ask about Christian's home run against Rice. I wanted to get your perspective on it, less as a baseball coach and I guess more as, his father, considering that you played and coached at Rice. Just how special of a moment was that for you, and do you have any sentimental feelings towards that?
After the fact, I did. People sent me, congratulations, or that must have been cool. A lot of texts, and our social media folks put some really good stuff out on it, which I saw. I'm grateful for that. But in the moment, it was about getting another run. Thames had gotten 2 quick outs, and it might have still been 2-0. I don't remember for sure, but the game was close at that time. So I was pleased with the home run to get us another run. And it hurt Thames a little bit. I think he was and then period. They were hoping for a clean inning there, and they'd really feel good about where they were, I think, if they had got another clean inning from him. But after Christian hit the homer, we started putting some guys on base, and we got to tie for them, and that hurt them.
When you have a moment like that, do you ever, I know during the game you're focused on getting the win, but do you kind of just reflect on, how far you've come in this sport, right? From playing at Rice to coaching at UIW to coaching at UTSA, now getting to coach your son. Just, does it ever really hit you in a really emotional type of way? Or what did you tell Christian after the game?
I'll take the second one. I congratulated him. I was proud of him. He had a bad game Saturday, and he's been scuffling. He had a rough at bat Tuesday at UIW, which I was really, really hard on him about because the timing of the at bat was not. I did not think the approach in the at bat Tuesday was reflective of what we asked him to do, and I was pretty hard on him Tuesday. And he's worked through that. I mean, he's used to having a coach and a dad that's hard on him. So, but the point I'm trying to make is, I just congratulated him, told him I was proud of him for rebounding. I don't take a lot of time with the father-son thing at the ballpark. I don't know, maybe I should, but I do. My wife and I talk about it. Our family talks about it. He still lives at home. He doesn't live in the dorm. He doesn't live in an apartment. My parents, my in-laws are at the house a lot on weekends to watch him, right? So it's definitely a topic. We definitely talk about it at home, right? Getting to coach him and this whole experience. So I'm grateful for that, and it's something that I try very hard not to take for granted. But at the ballpark, I don't focus on it very much. I'm trying to do my job at the end of the day. We all have jobs to do, players and coaches. So sometimes I'm nervous I'm going to screw something up. Friday I screwed up 2 things that hurt us. So really, I just try to keep my mind on my job and do my job.
All right, let's go to Jerry.
Hey, Coach, I wanted to ask a little bit about just kind of the the ebb and flow of your week last week, two straight losses in the walk-off games, and you're going into the Friday game there at Rice. I was wondering if you had anything to say, a speech or anything to your guys before the Friday game. Was anything said by you, or with this bunch? I'm assuming it probably didn't have nothing had to be said, but I wanted to ask if there was any conversation about, hey, we got to snap out of this, get this going again, or what was said going into Friday.
With Connor sitting here, I can't BS you, Jerry, because you might ask him the same question, and yeah, there was a lot said after Tuesday's game. Mostly, I think that's when you say what was said when it came to the coaching side of it, not as much the X's and O's, but just trying to get it turned around. There was a lot said after Tuesday's game because we didn't play well. We didn't deserve to win. After Friday's game, there was a lot less said. After Friday's game, it was kind of just more trying to make sure they were okay, which they were. I didn't need to say a lot. I told them they played good, and so what? We lost. Rice played a little better. But Tuesday, there was a lot said. Probably won't share it all, but basically, it's not always about winning and losing. It's real easy to rah-rah and say win, 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 and that I found it doesn't help. You got to give them. You got to point out where, and you include yourself. You got to point out where you're failing, why you're failing, what you can do about it, and then go to work. Like that's what Tuesday's meeting was about, and Wednesday's practice over there in Houston. There was a lot said because it was pointed toward what we needed to do to be better, which was throw strikes, temper emotion. Still something we're working through that we're getting better at, but sometimes emotion leads to balls as in the pitchers throw balls. Sometimes emotion leads to an error or a misplay or the game speeding up on you. So there are a lot of things like that said, just good old-fashioned coaching, and some of it was ugly and honest and a little bit pointed. In other words, very direct. People will say, maybe I called them out. How else do you fix the problem if you're not pointed and direct? And Friday, I screwed up. Like the one thing I told him on Friday was, I don't know if I was to blame for the loss, but if anybody was to blame for the loss Friday, I had as much to us losing Friday as any player on the team with two mistakes I made. But Rice did a really good job also Friday. So this is kind of what was said. Yeah, we're trying to improve. Even when we win, sometimes it's there's some of this that goes on. Saturday and Sunday, we played really clean games, so there wasn't a lot of it. But at the end of the day, it's growth, improvement. It's looking in the mirror, and I'm including myself in every bit of this. Yeah.
All right, Mike Kemps.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, thanks, Jerry. I appreciate it. Question for both you guys. First of all, Pat, you've been a huge fan of Connor's forever, and so have I. And he's just taken the ball and really looked like it's dominant for him now. Is that the case? Would you talk a little bit about him? And Connor, I want to know from you what goes on in your head. And it seems like a turnaround in a way, and yet it's not. But it's just so visible how much confidence you have when you're out on the hill.
You want me to go first? Yeah. He's reliable. At the end of the day, I don't know. I don't want to put words in his mouth. I don't know if he feels dominant or not, but I think of Connor as reliable. You know what you're going to get. He's going to compete. He's going to throw strikes. Now he's going to land 3 pitches, maybe 4. Last year I used to say he's going to land 2 pitches. He just keeps improving, which is fun to see too. But reliability is the key for any coach. I think every coach wants reliability. You want to know what you're going to get. You don't want surprises. That doesn't always mean perfection or dominance. We don't necessarily need that. We'll take it. But he did look dominant over there at Rice. I asked him, again, I don't want to speak for him, but I asked him if anything felt exceptionally well, like any one pitch. He credited it to just really going right down the middle early in the count, which doesn't surprise me. Like, I think he's grown into having that belief that that's the way to pitch. And that's how big leaguers pitch. If you watch big league starting pitching, they don't mess around a lot early in the count. They throw strike one, and it's often right down the middle. That's in the big league. So I think Connor's growing into that. His first year, which is a long time ago, it was 3 years ago, he didn't always do that. And then he started doing that last year, and the results speak for themselves. We're very lucky to have him. And, his maturity, I could go on and on about him. Wonderful person, too.
I think piggybacking off what Coach Hallmark just said, I think I got away from it for a couple of weeks, just kind of having that mentality of throwing everything straight down the middle, knowing my stuff's going to beat the hitter. And these last couple of weeks, especially this weekend, I really was just like, until I got to 0-2, 1-2, I'm coming at you, and I'm going to force you to swing the bat, which is what they did. So helped me have a couple quick innings and get through the game pretty efficiently. My defense did everything that they're expected of and more, which was good as well. Definitely helps me out on the mound.
Right. Appreciate it.
All right, Jerry.
Yeah, Coach, do you think at all about possibly moving Connor up to the Friday night slot? I know he's doing great for you on Saturdays, but given the struggle, the little bit of struggles that you've had on the first game of these weekend series, have you given thought to moving him to Friday?
Very little, yeah. All the games count the same at the end of the season. So there's always, with media and just in general, there's always a little more hype or interest in Friday because you tend to get your best two guys going. And I'm not saying we don't have our best guy going on Friday. I'm not saying we do, but we're happy with where Connor is in Saturday's game. If we win Saturday, it counts just as much as winning Friday. I also like, this is just a side note, and I'm happy to talk about it if you want, but if I have one left-handed starter and two right-handed starters, I like to split them up a little bit as well. So that's why last year, actually, that was why I went with Connor on Saturday, and then he's just settled into it. He's got his routine, but that has, he can adapt too. He's very adaptable. So I have thought about it a little bit, but I don't think you'll see that happen. All the games count the same.
Okay.
Rylan?
Coach, first, big change in the lineups the last two games against Rice. No Arquette on Friday and Saturday. Is he sick, or is that injury, or is that just a change you decided to make, for whatever reason?
Oh, he's not sick or injured. Yeah, we just wanted to give Aiden a little bit of an opportunity over there. Sometimes, for multiple reasons. Aiden has a high ceiling. Josh is fine. He'll be back in there, but we wanted to switch things up a little bit. And Aiden's also from Houston. Every once in a while, you see someone go back where they're from, and there's a little more, the right kind of focus. And Aiden certainly had that. He made 3 plays moving to his right, which were really good plays that are harder plays for Bain to make through no fault of his own. He just doesn't have the arm strength that Aiden has. So one of them was in Friday and Saturday's game was in the clutch, too. It was early in the game in close games where Aiden threw runners out, moving to his right, back across the diamond to first. So I thought Aiden played a terrific weekend.
We've talked about it before, just how you feel like there's so many great players on this roster that don't always get to start. I just wanted to know, how you continue to manage that. Obviously, you have guys, like Aiden that doesn't see a lot of time, Brandon Bishop out in center field, and now Josh Arquette didn't get to play. Just kind of how you continue to find roles for those types of players.
Yeah, we look for spots where they're best utilized. You've seen Bishop kind of throughout the year switching into center a little bit when the left-hander's on the mound. So we're looking for the best opportunity for the individual to succeed. Brandon's always had good numbers. If you go back to his days at Blinn in Houston, he's always hit lefties a little better, which is why we did that. So for different reasons, we're trying to optimize who we have, but we also try to put them in a position to succeed. And we're on this topic. There's at least two guys, I could name more, but there's two that come to mind that aren't getting to play, Cade Sadler and Brock Palmer, that two of my favorite people I've ever coached. And I get emotional sometimes when I talk about them because I like them so much. And I used to talk about them last year too. They handle the role they're in so wonderfully. They bring so much to our bench. We actually talk about what the bench is like and what the bench can contribute in a game as a value. We talk about it helps, in other words, and what the role of the bench is. And these two guys, Brock and Cade, and others too. I don't want to leave anyone out, but Brock and Cade have been with us a little longer. So Josh Vaughn's another one. These folks are unselfish and terrific human beings, terrific teammates, and they're worth mentioning in this same conversation as you bring up, trying to find spots for people.
JJ?
Pat, you talked about 2 mistakes you made. What were those, and what was the reception from the players when you kind of owned that?
No reception. Silence. They're probably pissed at me. I don't blame them. Yeah, I didn't say it till I get a reception. I said it to be honest with them because I'm on it. When they screw up, we talk about it. One was a call in the first inning, the first hitter of the game. I got tricky. It was stupid call. The pitch was breaker, and I chose fast. Luke, and besides that, another great point was Coach Malone is doing a fabulous job. He calls the pitches 90% of the time. I really don't call a lot of pitches, but I got cued. I'd rarely do that. I usually just go by the book, and gosh, it was such a bad call. I'm still frustrated. I don't mind talking about it. I don't mind owning mistakes because I make them, and I'm going to make more, and you learn from them when you own them. But one was a call to the leadoff hitter, the base hit, the first hitter of the game, which ended up scoring. Certainly the wild pitches hurt, but if I make the right call, he doesn't get on base, right? Like, that's the point. And then the other one was the aggressive base running late in the game. We run the bases. That one bothered me less because it was a mistake for the right reasons. It was bad timing, but that's how we play. We run the bases very aggressive. A lot of people, I hear people don't like it. Some people do. I actually have heard Ryland defend us a little bit. Whatever. I don't care. Like, I'm going to be who I am. But what people don't realize on the bases, like the short pop-up, we got 3 guys thrown out on the bases, I think, this weekend, just running the bases aggressive. Christian out at second. I got Silva thrown out at third, and I think Miller went to second once. And I told all 3 of them, Silva, I screwed up. That's the other one, JJ. And the other 2 guys, I told them I liked the play. We also had a runner tag up on like a 115-foot fly ball to center field that was safe, that got us a run. Like, it puts so much pressure on the other team that I'm willing to give up an out or 2 here and there for runs, especially when we run the bases aggressive to home. It won us the Ohio State game when Christian scored from second on a ground ball to the first baseman. And I know how it looks. If he's out, it looks stupid because he would have been out by 20 feet. I don't care. It also gets into how we play. The players can play very loose, free, fun, aggressive baseball. So we're going to keep playing that way, even though we will make some outs. But, yeah, those are the 2 mistakes, JJ. Sending Silva late in the game and a pitch call in the first inning.
Pat, I wanted to ask you what your thoughts were. You talked a little bit about it in the beginning, about the defensive play this weekend. It seemed pretty clean. And then, Connor, if you could just piggyback on that, what does that do when, you got a pretty clean defense behind you?
Yeah. I wish I knew the exact reason why. I think the guys, it gets down to intent and pride. We've made, I don't know exactly, but it's like 35 errors. We've made too many errors. I'm looking at South Florida's stats right now. They've made 19. So I think part of it is they're putting in work. The defenders on our team are putting in work. I think they got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. I hope they got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, that they have something to prove when it comes to defense, because we still do, but 3 games in a row is a start. The challenge to them was 10. I challenged them a little bit to play 8 of 10 games. In any 10-game stretch, to play 8 games of clean defense, which means 1 error less, and we throw in what we call plays that should be made. So 2 free bases or less is what we're hunting. So again, I don't know the exact answers, but I do know when things need to be worked on or addressed, and we still are. We're not there yet, but that's what it's all about. Yeah.
I think the defense, you as a pitcher, you try not to let the defense affect you in a negative way, because you don't want to let things influence you that you can't control. But when the defense is making the plays like they have been, for my personal last 2 starts, I think I have 1 strikeout in each outing for the last couple of weeks. So when I'm on the mound, a lot of balls get put in play, and when I can turn around and watch the defense make the plays that they have been playing, it gives me more confidence, which helps me do my job better, which then in fold helps us win more games. So I think defense is really the key. We're always going to hit. We're always going to put up good at-bats, but when our defense is good and our pitchers are throwing pitches over the plate, we're a pretty tough team to beat.
Mike?
You guys ready to talk about South Florida yet?
Oh, a little bit. I haven't looked at him a lot, Mike, but I'm happy to.
Well, I'm looking at 2 pitchers. One is 6-0. His name is Sine, .76 whip, which is pretty good. And the other one is Edwin Alisea. But they don't hit hard. I'm looking at 12 homers in 32 games. It's reminded me a little bit of some of the numbers that I thought East Carolina had. What do you know about them overall? And I know how you guys are going to play, but the other side of it is there anything that you've seen or know about them that's going to come as a surprise to some people?
Well, if it came as a surprise, I wouldn't be able to tell you. but no, Mike.
I had to try.
It looks like they pitch and play defense really well, which is clean baseball. Which their coach I have a ton of respect for. Someone asked me, one of the national guys back in January asked me to do a little quick. It's like 4 questions on the national scene, and he said nationally, who would be your surprise team this season? It was a national question, not a conference question. And I said South Florida. I didn't know they'd be this good, but I knew they had a good coach. He's from Indiana State, and he used to take that team to the regionals every year at Indiana State. That's no easy task, right? So that tells me a lot. He was there last year, and usually year 1 is not always easy, but years 2 and certainly 3, a new coach who's a good coach can start to put his people in place and whatever type of baseball he plays. You see it in football and basketball too. So they're very well coached. Sine looks like a strike thrower. I think I'm looking at it with you. He's got 53 innings and 7 walks. So he's not going to beat himself. I think Sine was there last year, but I think he was in the bullpen. I'll have to double check. I haven't watched them yet. Been watching Tarleton, but I have looked at their stats. I'm just gathering information from the stats. So, yeah, I think they hit okay with what I call fight. They don't strike out. They're hitting 298, so looks like they got a little eye hand and some fight. But they just don't hit for the slug as much, it looks like. But they look like a good team. They've only been beaten 8 times. So that's what I see.
Good, thanks.
Conner, when you think of South Florida, what do you remember from last year's series? What do you remember from your outing? And what do you expect to see out of the Bulls this week?
As Coach Hallmark said, they're always going to be a team that plays. Since I've been here, they've always thrown strikes for the most part, and they've played pretty good defense. So I think this is going to be another big weekend for our pitching staff, limiting that free pass, knowing that the guys on the mound for the other team aren't going to walk anyone, so we can't allow ourselves to walk anyone either. I think the walk might come down to whoever wins this weekend, to be honest.
Rylan?
Coach, I wanted to back up just a little bit to Tarleton State because they're a really good team. And obviously Tuesdays haven't been, the easiest. I just want to know kind of how you plan to manage the pitching staff on Tuesday, and if you're willing to name a starter.
Haven't named a starter yet. Sam and Kelly are both available though. So, you could see those guys. I think I don't remember 2 Tuesdays ago, but last Tuesday they weren't available. They had pitched Sunday last week. So, hopefully we can get them the ball a little bit. But everybody's available except Miles. Miles told me he wanted a batter or two. I'd consider it, but Miles and Gunner both threw a lot of pitches, so they wouldn't be available. But yeah, everybody's available, and Tarleton's good, 21-10, and good ball club. They beat Baylor twice, beat some other good teams, and we're going up there. They're always a little tougher, like everybody. They're always tougher in their own ballpark. So Fuller Smith does a great job. That's their head coach.
We almost, or maybe this is a miss on my side, but we haven't talked about Connor Kelly yet. 6 strikeouts in 2 innings in his appearance against Rice, and just seeing him kind of bounce back from a little bit of a tough spot earlier on the season and get his swagger back and take that bow at the end of the game. It's just really cool to see. And I know you've mentioned Connor as someone who's really going to always fight, to get back into that rotation, and someone who's got no quit. Can you just talk about his performance against Rice and what it could mean for him going forward?
Oh, it was good. Yeah, it was what Connor's capable of, and I'm proud of Connor. He had the hiccup, right, with a couple outings where he didn't throw strikes and was possibly overthrowing or just out of whack. But I'm proud of him. He went back to work. That's what I was going to say this sport's about, but we all know it's a cliche. We've all seen the Rocky movies and everything else. It's what life's about. It's not about never failing. It's a cliche, but it's a cliche because it's true. I'm really proud of Connor Kelly, right? And we're not done failing. Let's be honest. I'm not done failing. Our team is going to have still some ups and downs, but Connor had a rough little stretch, and now he's dominating, right? How can it not be described that way? He faced 6 hitters. He struck them all out. I think he hit one. But he pitched 2 innings and struck out 6 guys. I didn't love the bow. But, yeah, I want these guys to have fun. We just got to be careful. We don't want to show anybody else up. But, yeah, it's fine. The bow wasn't that big a deal. I just want Connor to stay chippy. And when I say chippy, it just means like he's got something to prove. So, but mostly I'm proud of him. I'm proud for him, for his effort, his attention to detail, his work he's put in since he had the little hiccup. So proud of Connor. Happy for him.
All right, one more for Mike.
Yeah, Pat, I've been watching very thoroughly about Gunnar Brown, and he looks like he's begun to smooth out a little bit and develop some confidence. Am I off base there?
No, Mike, I'm glad you brought it up because he gets overlooked a little bit because we usually do the opener before him the last few outings, and he's really been good each week that we've been in conference now. FAU wasn't quite as good, but he was steady. He gave us 3 or 4 over there, and then he's gone 4 more in the other 2, and he put us in a position to win last Friday. Gunner's been real good, and then he even pitches occasionally on Tuesday. He's already told me that if I needed him tomorrow, if the team needed him tomorrow, he says he's good to go tomorrow, and then pitch again on Friday. I don't know that we'll do that, but it's always an option. We'll see where the other pieces are at. But again, some of these guys Gunner's been fairly solid as a UTSA pitcher, but Gunner had a rough spell his year at Sam Houston State. And I'm just happy and proud of them. These people, it's wonderful. Just examples on how to live life, to persist. And he's another one, just like Connor Kelly. He's persisted, and everybody's a work in progress. We're all day to day, right? Like the big leagues say, he's day to day. But yeah, I'm happy for him. I'm proud of him, and he's giving us a chance to win. So it's very important we have him.
Good.
All right, Connor, last one. After most innings, maybe every inning, you'll hear some fans chanting in reference to your home nation. If you could enlighten us as to who that group is and how important they are to you, and just the support you've received in your time here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it started when my dad came down when we were in Minute Maid. him and a couple family friends that came down started the chant, and some of the parents, I think Lane Hayworth's dad is one of them. I think Mike DiBattista's dad's another one of them. They've kind of tried to piggyback off it to kind of help me out, give me a bit more confidence. And the more they keep doing it, the more the other fans and parents start figuring it out. And it got pretty loud this weekend, which was really cool to hear as I was coming off the mound.
Awesome. Well, Connor, Coach, thank you both. Gentlemen, thank you for your time, and best of luck this week. We'll see you next Monday at 12:30.
See you guys.
Thank you.